Up, guys? It's Will here once again. I'm back here for UFC Vancouver Cowboy versus Tristan Gaethje. Um, I'll give you my picks for that in a little second. I just want to send out a couple of apologies and some thanks. The apologies is to pretty much to everybody last week who commented on my video, and not that I ignored it, but if you never follow, or if you don't follow me on Twitter, I had a pretty bad kind of, it was something personal that happened last week with my family. My brother got attacked by three guys who had knives and carved his face open multiple times. So it's been a pretty tough time. I'll be honest, I've not been in the best of ways. My brother's okay, he's alive, thankfully, but there's been a lot of damage. So I want to apologise to everybody who mentioned, tried to ask me stuff last week. I literally couldn't push myself to do it, and I'll be honest, I've not really looked into this card as much as I kind of usually do because family comes first, and I wanted to get that sorted, and my head's not been in the right space. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's managed to push me over 3,000 subscribers. I never ever thought I'd get there, so especially during the week, to get that, to see that number was a big thing for me. It actually helped me through the week, so I really do appreciate it, and let's see if we can push the channel on to bigger and better things. Like, comment, subscribe. If we can just try and keep the channel growing, I'll appreciate that so much. But again, just, I'm so sorry if I never got back to you last week, because like I say, last week was a very tough week. It's still very tough. Still trying to get through the after effects of those three cowards, what they did to my brother. But it's past now, he's okay. I think we're through the worst of it. And yeah, just want to say a sorry and a big thank you. Regarding the posters, I'm going to be running a tournament. Keep an eye on that. I'm going to pin a tweet if you would like to be entered into the tournament to win a poster. I've got a few of them there. Just leave your name there saying you'd like to enter, and I'll get back to you. But I'm going to give you the quick picks for this one here. So yeah, we're starting off in the featherweight division. It's Kyle Prepolec against Austin Hubbard. I'm going to pick Austin Hubbard here. I initially thought maybe Prepolec had a decent shot, and I still think he is. Maybe has got a decent shot here, but I like Hubbard's durability. I think he's very tough. I don't think anything really stands out, but he's very strong in a lot of areas. I love his cardio. I love who he works with out in Colorado. Prepolec, I think, sometimes can be a little bit timid, but with his striking, I really liked his leg kicks against Taleb. I thought that they were really decent. That's something he might work on here. I think Hubbard can mix up a little bit more. I think he can do enough on the feet, but I think he can get takedowns. I think he can be very durable across the 15 minutes, and I've got him winning a decision there. So Austin Hubbard, and he's actually, I'll try and give you a parlay of the week like I did last week. I've got a couple of bets for this one, which if I can remember, I'll tell you here. But Austin Hubbard was one of the guys I was actually thinking possibly about putting in a parlay, but his number's coming down, so I don't think I'm going to do that. But keep an eye out. I'll put it in the description box if I do add one for this week. Lewis Smolka against Ryan Macdonald. I mean, Ryan Macdonald has no right being in the UFC. He's not great. Like that fight with Chris Gutierrez, there was just a lot of things there that were really tough to watch, and you watch his fights outside the UFC, it's just complete cans, jobbers. But Lewis Smolka doesn't really predict any like confidence. He doesn't really jump out to me as someone who I'm super confident in picking, but he's fought far better competition. He trains at the better gym, he trains with better people. He's got a clear path to victory if he gets it to the ground. His scrambling and his jiu-jitsu is, I think, on a far higher level than Ryan Macdonald's. But if Macdonald come out here and was to piece him up a little bit, that wouldn't surprise me either. But I've got Lewis Smolka to win via maybe submission in the mid to late round part of this fight. But like I say, would it surprise me if Ryan Macdonald win? Not at all. But I'm going to go Lewis Smolka. Chaz Skelly against Jordan Griffin's up next. Initially I thought, right, Skelly's got a good chance here. But Jordan Griffin, I think his tenacity and I think his durability across the 15 minutes is going to win this fight. I think Skelly's going to come out quick. He's been very kind of inactive as Chaz Skelly, where, to be fair, Griffin hasn't really been that active either. They haven't fought in a long time, but I think Jordan Griffin's just he's meaner, he's nastier, he sits in the pocket, throws better combinations, where Skelly I think will look to wrestle, use his grappling, he's got some fairly decent jiu-jitsu with that as well. But I just think, looking at them right now, I think Jordan Griffin's just in a better kind of trajectory of his career. I think he wants it more. I think he's coming from Rufus Sport where the guys are really kind of shining at the minute. They're getting a few good wins out there. I'm sure there's a lot of confidence from the gym at the weekend with the two big wins from Felder and Bilal. So yeah, I like him to win over a 15-minute period here. Like I say, I think it might be a little bit sketchy to start off with, but I think once he comes in and he starts landing those shots, I think Skelly will start to reach in for takedowns, and then Griffin will start to kind of reverse and land some more bigger shots. So I've got Jordan Griffin by the decision in that one, maybe a late TKO. Brad Katona against Hunter Azure's up next. I think Hunter is going to be a pretty popular dog pick this week. I really do. I think that he's garnered a lot of attention off the Dana White Contender Show. I thought he had a really good performance against Chris Oken. Really mixed up well. Loved how he kind of threw some big strikes. He's got some heavy hands when he lands. You can see that they hurt their opponents. But then I think he comes from a wrestling background. So that's primarily what he's going to stick to and what he's going to try and do here. And it's not a bad way of going against Brad Katona, who's coming off that loss to Merab Dvalishvili, who exposed his grappling, his lack of defense with takedown defense. I know that Brad Katona's went and tried to do things about that. He went to Penn State. I think that's where Cael Sanderson is, the legendary wrestling coach there. They're one of the best in America. He was there for a little bit, I believe, and that's got to improve. Not that it's going to make a huge difference, because he has to do that when he's back in his normal gym and normal territory and normal training partners. But I know that the SBG guys have got a lot of guys coming up into big fights. James Gallagher, Blaine O'Driscoll, all those guys have got big fights for Bellator coming. So the gym will be pepped up, and I know a lot of people are going to pick against, he trains at SBG. That's not a bad way of kind of going against Brad Katona, but I think Katona's a good fighter. I think that Hunter's got a lot of guys to him here. I think he's good wrestler. I think he's very hittable. Pushes a good pace. But I think Brad Katona, if he can stop some of these takedowns, and when you look at the takedowns he was getting taken down by Merab, they were mostly single legs. Watching the fighters of a Hunter against very low caliber fighters before that, there were big kind of ones, trips and so on, but it wasn't really many single legs. That might be a deficiency that Brad Katona's really been working on. I just think Brad Katona's a more technical guy, and I know there's some people that have bet on Hunter right now, but I think that Brad's going to piece him up a little bit. I think the experience of fighting better caliber opposition is going to come through here, and I think he's going to win a pretty comfortable-ish, maybe 29-28 decision, if not a stoppage there. So I've got Brad Katona on that one. Andrew Sanchez against Marvin Vettori. The first thing I'll say about this, I looked at the line and Marvin Vettori's minus 300, and I was like, I'm not sure about that. I think that's a tad high. Andrew Sanchez is like plus 250. Not a bad dog bet if you're into betting underdogs, but I like Marvin Vettori here. I think that, like I said, I do think it should be line closer, but I think Vettori, I really do think Vettori's going to start coming on and being a really half-decent fighter in the next few years. Tough, hard to put away. He can kind of get that second wind and really push himself, where Sanchez, I still have questions about certain parts of his game, with his durability, with his gas tank. He came through the Barrio fight where he started off really well, got some nice takedowns, but then he started to blow and Barrio started to land some more, but he just did enough to kind of more or less win that fight. But I've got Vettori via being like the tougher fighter, stopping takedowns on the feet. I think that especially in the third round, when you watch his third rounds, he comes on really strong. So I think he can start strong, I think he can finish strong. So I've got Marvin Vettori there via decision. Cole Smith is up against Miles Johns next. I was really impressed with Miles Johns' fight against Richie Santiago, I think it was, on the Dana White Contender Series. Big power in his hands, comes from a great camp at Fortis, wrestling background by trade. He went into that fight with a pretty vicious groin injury, I believe. Pulled through, and I think that's what affected his gas tank through that fight, and maybe gave Santiago opportunities, but he was still fairly dominant. I thought he should have really got him out of there, but Santiago's a tough kid. Cole Smith's coming off that win over Mitch Gagnon. Gagnon started off okay, but then Cole Smith started to land more, really started to deplete him. I think he's a local guy here, so he's going to have a lot of the crowd in his corner. I just think Miles Johns can maybe mix it up. I think that he's striking. I love Fortis MMA guys at the minute. You can't go against that camp. Even the bad fighters are getting wins like Kennedy and Chukwu, who he should really listen to his coach, because that safe side is unbelievable. He's going to be, if it continues, it's only a couple of months out, but he's going to be coach of the year with what he's doing with that. All the fighters coming out of there, what he did it with last week in Abu Dhabi with Carlos Diego Ferreira. So, guy's a magician of a coach. Really, really sound kind of game plans that he puts together, and he really puts into his fighters. I like Miles Jones here. I think this could be close, though. I do. I think this has got a split decision written all over it, but I'm going to go Miles Jones via a very close decision. Heavyweight division, Marcin Tybura against Augusto Sakai. I'm going to go Augusto Sakai. I've bet Augusto Sakai. I bet him earlier on this afternoon. No, not this afternoon. Yesterday, actually, it was. Yesterday afternoon. Was it last night? Sorry, all the days are kind of rolling into one at the minute, but yeah, I bet him at plus, I think he's plus 110. I think over in the UK he's still plus 105 over here as of Monday night. So I just think it's Tybura is really fell off the kind of map in the last couple of fights. He's making mistakes. He's giving you the fighters opportunities. Did not see Shamil coming out there and knocking him out, but he went out there and blasted him, put him down in the second round last time out in Russia. Well, he's only winning the last 4 against Stefan Struve, who retired. He's now coming back. So, yeah, I just think that this can be a very, very close fight. I think that, and Sakai is the better fighter right now. I really do. I think that he puts everything together fairly well. I've seen a lot of people say he robbed Arlovski last time out. I was on the opposite there. I think that he won that fight. In my opinion, it was close down in Florida back in April, but yeah, I think he puts everything together really, really well. I think he's got a lot of experience. He came up through Bellator, so he fought some decent guys in there, a decent guy in Czech Congo, and he took him to a split in that. So yeah, I just see this being a close fight, and I see that he can tie him up, maybe beat him up with the strike, and I think if he was to get it to the ground, he'd have the advantage with the jiu-jitsu. So I've got Augusto Sakai there. Not, I think a lot of people will probably be on Tybura, but I'm off Tybura completely. I think he's shown a lot of holes in his game. I think Sakai is the kind of guy that, even when the rounds are close, he might just he might take them. So I've got him to win that one there. I think he will capitalise on opportunities there. So moving on to the main card, we've got Misha Cirkunov against Jimmy Crute. I'm going to go Jimmy Crute. I'm not going to go with Misha Cirkunov. I think he's dead. I think he's done. I think that obviously you have to be careful because he can wrap up submissions, but his chin, I've seen people say Jimmy Crute can't knock him out. Absolutely, Jimmy Crute can knock him out. Absolutely he can. With a chin as bad as what Misha's got, if you can touch that thing, he's going to be looking to get out of there, and that's what I think could happen here. But also I think that Crute has the credentials to maybe stick with him on the ground. Not that I think he should really be there with Cirkunov, because that's obviously where his strong suit is, with his guillotines and his arm triangle chokes. If you give him an opportunity, he cranks really hard in it, and pretty much you've got to get in his face. You've got to get in his face and be super aggressive, pretty much like Johnny Walker was, pretty much like Glover was, what Volkan was. Get in his face and knock this guy out. I just think Jimmy Crute's got a good opportunity to get a good win over a decent name guy in the division. And I don't know where Misha's kind of head's really at with this. So, and the lines came down to like minus 115. I think that's a little crazy. So I'm going to go Jim Crute for that one there. Uriah Hall against Antonio Carlos Jr. This fight is fairly obvious here. If Uriah keeps it standing, he's going to pick apart Antonio Carlos Jr. If Carlos Jr. gets him down, you would think he's got a massive advantage. And when you watch Uriah Hall's fights, there's times when he gets fully mounted, and you're not going to do that, and you're not going to win fights against someone like Carlos Jr., the guy like he is on the ground. Whitaker advanced on him, Jotko did it, and the majority of them full mounted him as well. If you give Carlos Jr. that opportunity, he's going to get you out of there. But if Carlos Jr. cannot get him down, he's going to eat a jab all night. He's going to eat strikes, and we know Uriah Hall, he can throw some massive spin kicks in there and could potentially really hurt you, knock you out. I'm going to take a shot on Uriah Hall, as stupid as this may be. Yeah, it just feels bad picking Uriah Hall, actually saying that. Shit. Yeah, bugger, I'm going to go with my gut feeling. Least confident pick on the card. I'm going to pick him. I just think he obviously has to stop the takedown. If he stops it, I think he beats him up. So I'm going to go a knockout win for Uriah Hall. Late second, early third round here. But again, he was losing to Bevan Lewis last time out. Got it put in some positions there where it was a little bit unsavoury. But he came through, and I'm kind of thinking this might kind of go that way a little bit. So I'm going to go Uriah Hall for the win there. Jesus Christ, picking Uriah Hall. Yeah. Michal Pereira was supposed to fight Kondojko in this one. He pulled out. They're looking like they're going to get a replacement, so no prediction on that one. Hopefully he gets an opponent. Todd Duffee makes his return against Jeff Hughes in the heavyweight division. I mean, Todd Duffee. Jesus Christ. Yeah. He's been away for 4 years. He's still only 32, 33 years of age, so he's coming at his prime pretty much in the heavyweight division. You've seen what that guy's all about. He comes out, throws massive bombs, big uppercuts, looks to strike. Pretty kind of low fight IQ, for being honest. He did that in the Frank Mir fight, came out pressured, and I forgot how filthy that knockout was. That Frank Mir left hook knockout of Todd Duffee was filthy. It's hard to pick this fight because Jeff Hughes, I thought he looked absolutely terrible against Maurice Green. I think that's maybe more for Maurice Green kind of improving a little bit, and Jeff Hughes just not really getting off at many parts of that fight. Toss a coin and see where it lands. I'd rather pick the guy who's been a little bit more active in the last few years. And I think if he stops the initial barrage from Todd Duffee, I think that he could win the fight. So, yeah, Jeff Hughes, not going to be a confident pick. Probably a sloppy decision, but I'll go Jeff Hughes, maybe even a stoppage, I don't know. Light heavyweight division co-main event, Glover Teixeira against Nikita Krylov. If you've seen my tweet earlier on, I put out, I was like, is there any fighters out there as soon as betting line comes out that you instantly just want to bet, or you do bet? And yeah, for me, it's Nikita Krylov every time. And yes, I've bet Nikita Krylov here as an underdog at plus 110. This is fairly you have to kind of look at it this way. If he gets put down, there's probably a good chance that Teixeira will submit him. Pretty much what he did to Ion Cutelaba. He was losing that fight. He was taking a few dirty strikes here and there, and Cutelaba was trying everything to try and get into the head of kind of Teixeira a little bit. But once it hit the ground once, it was over, and Cutelaba turned to his chest. Quick tap. He didn't want any of that. Nikita Krylov in the OSP fight, who is and saying that he get taken down a couple of times by OSP, and if that happens with Teixeira here, then he could be in deep shit. So yeah, on the feet, I think that you can get Glover. He's slowed down a lot. His feints have disappeared. His kind of boxing movements disappeared. His combinations aren't as quick as the ones were, and his head stays very still. So you can get him. Cutelaba did that through a lot of big shots and got him. And Krylov throws a lot of leg attacks as well, so maybe a couple of head kicks flying up. So, yeah, Nikita Krylov, I'm going to pick him here to win via knockout. I might go late first round, but he could ultimately probably get submitted in the first round as well. That's how crazy it is, because if he gets put down, Glover will have a big advantage down there. I want to say Krylov's got a better takedown defense than what Cutelaba's got, but it seems that every time that Krylov goes to the ground, he nearly gets submitted, but he came through against OSP, who's a bit more, I think, a bit more physical of a kind of wrestler than what Glover is, but Glover's a far better technician with his jiu-jitsu. So I've got Nikita Krylov for the win there. I'm going to go knockout, like I say, I'll go early second round on that one. And the main event of the night, Donald Cowboy Cerrone against Justin Gaethje. Ooh, just a dirty fight. I think, first of all, what I'll say is I think the betting line should be a little bit closer. Let me quickly check that out. The betting lines. I wouldn't touch Gaethje at minus 190. Plus, I think the matchup is closer than that. I think there's spots for both guys in here. But I do lean Justin Gaethje. I do. And I always kind of go with Donald Cerrone in a lot of these fights. But he's coming off that loss to Tony Ferguson back in June, and he's got a pretty quick turnaround, if we're being honest here, and he took a lot of damage in that fight. He kind of screwed himself in that fight by blowing his nose, and everything just ballooning up. And now he's facing Justin Gaethje, who there is opportunities to get. One of the things I don't like about Gaethje is with someone like Cerrone is he shells up, opens up the body. But one of the things I like about Gaethje is that he may attack the body of Donald Cerrone, and we all know that Cerrone is one of the weaker guys when she lands some big body shots on him. And I mean, Gaethje's just a Terminator. He really is. He's a guy that comes forward, never takes a back step. Like I say, he takes a lot of damage as well. So would it surprise me if Cerrone maybe caught him with a head kick? No. But the way Gaethje comes in, his vicious leg kicks, like I say, if he throws those leg kicks, he has to have his defences up because Cerrone can easily counter with something big up top. But like I say, the kind of varying attacks that Gaethje will bring with his striking, I think it's just going to be too much. I think he's going to mix up, go to the legs. I think he's going to go to the body. I think his pace is maybe going to be a little bit too much for Cowboy. And Cowboy never really, he doesn't do great against these kind of, what you say, top 5 fighters. I think Gaethje's a top 5 guy. This might be the one that turns it around. I just think it's too soon, him coming back early June into early September, mid-September. I know that Cowboy likes to fight a lot, but I think he should have took a little bit of time off and licked his wound a little bit there. But I see there's been a war for the first couple of rounds with an edge going to Gaethje. I think as we start going on, I think just the wear and tear, the damage will start to get to Cowboy, and I think Gaethje will take him out via TKO. Round 3, maybe round number 4. So, yeah, that's my picks for UFC Vancouver. Again, I just want to thank you for all the support. And again, apologies for not getting back to you last week. It kind of annoyed me a little bit, but like I say, my head's been somewhere else, honestly, the last 7-8 days. So we're back for a UFC. I think we're in Mexico City next week. I'm going to start watching that tonight. Just thank you. Enjoy the card when it comes around this Saturday, and I will see you very, very soon. All the best. Peace.